Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful, productive, fantastic, beautiful day. So right off, I want to just say that the majority of this video deals with forgiveness, and it's a very minute element of this video that does indirectly or directly address kindness, but forgiveness in itself is an act of kindness as I see it. So this video, from what I understand right now, is a prelude to another video and possibly an entire series. So thank you so much for watching Forgiveness and Kindness. Let's get started. I took a lot of notes this morning for this video. I was concerned that I was going to forget, and I did not write in bullet points. I wrote in complete sentences, and I know that's not what you're supposed to do, but that's what I did it. So here we go. Some of the most important conversations you have in your life are the ones you have with God. And the other important conversations that you have are with yourself. If you don't want to talk to God, at least have an honest conversation with yourself. And I'm not talking about like the small little conversations. I'm talking about the big picture conversations. A conversation with yourself at the end of the month, at the end of the week, the end of every 3 months. But you don't want to delay these conversations because there's a lot to be gained and a lot to discover about yourself all the time. We are ever changing. We are dynamic. Human beings are complex and incredible. Don't delay with getting to know yourself. Don't have these significant, honest conversations with yourself in year gaps. Even though if you take a year gap, you might be ahead of a lot of people. But regardless, if you can have these important conversations, these honest conversations with yourself on a regular basis, you're doing great. Some people, they have these conversations with themselves and it takes them 5 years or so, 10 years ago, 20 years. It's a lifetime has happened before they are finally honest with themselves. If you hear a bell, that's my bracelets. And if you hear a meow, that's my cat. I know, spoiler. The picture is a total spoiler, isn't it? Okay, so when you have these internal conversations, whether they are with God, hopefully you talk to God. But if they are just with yourself, they are incredibly important, because even if you don't have the answers right away, because you won't, but you are going to spark thought, reflection, and action just in the very act of asking the question to yourself. It is important not to just ask questions to other people. Ask yourself questions. Question your own actions, your own motivations, your own goals. And not only that, but what is driving these things, these motivations, everything. It is so important. Okay, so now I'm going to kind of shift my train of thought here, and I'm going to move along to conversations that we have with other people when they are unpleasant, or we are in a disagreement. So when you're disagreeing with someone, or even when you just perceive or detect a disagreement, you want to focus on what is necessary, constructive, and productive. Okay? So that means no extra stuff. Only things that are going to propel you forward. And any criticism that you provide has a... So when you're constructively telling somebody some feedback, you want to tell them feedback on things they can actually change. That is within their power to change. So this goes back to, on some capacity, the serenity prayer. Consider asking if they even want your feedback or if they're ready. Okay, so what else do I mean when I say tell them what is necessary, constructive, and productive? This also means leaning away from your emotions, whatever they may be. Okay? Keep in mind, this person that you're talking to may or may not even want to acknowledge their own emotions. It is possible that they want to, but they don't know how for various reasons. And they might not even know how to articulate the fact that they want to acknowledge their emotions, but they just don't know how. I know. But imagine that. Because emotions are complex. It is very possible they may be experiencing a brand new emotion that they have yet to identify. This may be an emotion that they have recognized in other people, but they have yet to recognize within themselves or experience for themselves. So just let your imagination just sit on that for a moment. Being 40 or 50 or a teenager and experiencing an emotion for the first time. Maybe even 70. Okay, another thing is sometimes you just have to let people know that you are available and that you love them, if you love them. And then taking a step back, tell them, I'm here to listen when you are ready. This is very important. Very. People want to hear this sometimes. Well, they want to hear it, period. They want to hear it even if they don't tell you. And you will know when the time is right to say this. Remember, you can always communicate with your actions. I don't know, maybe that involves cooking a fresh breakfast or bringing flowers, playing classical music, the composer that they like, the instrumentalists that they like, flying kites with them. It can be like the smallest thing, but we can show so much within our actions and our nonverbal communication. A smile can go a long way. Holding somebody's hand can go a long way. A hug can go miles. Don't put too much weight on a single day. Sometimes time is needed between conversations to truly analyze and consider what the party has shared. And that goes for you too. It goes both ways. So they need time to analyze what you have shared. It's critical to consider another person's perspective. Otherwise, a compromise can never be reached. And when you allow time between conversations, you can reflect on what you have said also. The fault in your logic, in your thinking, in your reasoning. So once all of that has been addressed, and then you are in the frame of mind for compromise, that is when beautiful things can happen. Now, if it's going to be a really difficult conversation, you need to prepare yourself, okay? You know these things. So you want to consider the environment. You don't want to be in a disruptive environment. You want to be somewhere that's mellow, where there's not going to be interference. You want to anticipate these things. You also want to anticipate, when is this individual that I'm about to talk to most relaxed? When are they most relaxed? Is it on the weekends? Is it after they've had some solitude to themselves? Is it after a nice meal? During a nice meal? So right here, this is where you have the courage, to take control over what you can. Okay? Disagreements don't always have to be so serious. They don't. Sometimes disagreements get escalated and just blown up like a big hot air balloon. And then it's like, okay, how are we going to get this thing off the ground? It's too big to even move. So I think that this is particularly the case with romantic relationships. Some arguments are simply not worth having. Just like that saying, pick your battles. It's said so often that we almost forget the meaning. It means that some things you fight and some things you just let go because they don't matter, because they are interfering with your pursuit of happiness and the pursuit of happiness of those around you. There are other more significant things worthy of your energy, and you must distinguish what is important and what is minor. And if you don't make the correct distinction, you are going to drain your energy for no good reason. And you're going to drain the energy of other people for no good reason. Have you ever noticed that with some arguments, what you are actually saying and what you are discussing is not what you are actually arguing about? The passion is coming from some other root, provocation, trigger, whatever you want to call it, other issue. Have you ever noticed that? Sometimes people are frustrated, anxious, and wanting a resolution while simultaneously not actually ready to disclose and discuss the actual issue at hand. So they will divert their energy onto something smaller and less significant because they want that resolution, They want it, even if it is for something completely unrelated. They want that, and they also want to vocalize themselves and make themselves known, and their thoughts, their feelings, even if it doesn't have it's not directly to what is really bothering. There are so many beautiful things in life, and one of them is forgiveness. Even though you can't see it, it is one of the most beautiful things that you can give and receive. You can feel it, and other people can feel it too. Proverbs chapter 17, verse 22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bone. So be joyful, be kind, be patient. Look for the beautiful things in life. Do what makes you happy and makes you feel like anything is possible. Oh, and you are beautiful, smart, handsome, funny, kind, and you have talent, and you matter. You matter so much.